Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're wondering why my eyebrows are crazy, it's because we're going to do face paint today and I need no eyebrows. So I've already glued them down because it's one of my favorite things to add into something, but like my least favorite thing in the whole world to do because my eyebrows are big and bushy, as you can see, so they take a lot of combing and glue, and that's why I look like Wolverine. But Wolverine is not the Marvel comic book character that we are covering today. We are actually going to cover Gamora and do a Gamora face paint and talk a little bit about Gamora as a character. Tonight I will be doing a podcast with Paul Hart, who does a podcast called Movies from the Heart, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Guardians of the Galaxy and Stan Lee passing, which was something that I know really affected a lot of people and just changed the Marvel universe completely. So let's get into painting and we'll get into a little bit of talking. So I wanted to do a little bit of research on Gamora because I actually don't know a ton about her character. Oh, before we get into that, the paint that I'm using is the Graftobian Pro Paint, and it's water activated. This one is very fittingly called Alien Green. That's what I'm starting with. So Guardians was a movie for me that when it first came out was one of the most perfect Marvel films that I'd seen in a really long time. Like, all of the other Marvel films are great. Like, I love superhero films in general, but something about this one, it was the perfect amount of comedy and heartbreak and action, and it just had everything I could ever want in a film. I actually had not been introduced to Guardians of the Galaxy as a comic book before that point, so I didn't know all that much about them. So this was a totally new experience for me when the films came out, and I quickly fell in love. I don't think Gamora is my favorite character, but she is a fun face paint. I think my favorite character is probably Rocket. I love Rocket, and I love how sassy and spunky he is, and I think he is my favorite character. I chose Gamora for a face paint because I think it's a really fun paint, and I knew that I had most of the materials to make it happen in my house, since all of this was pretty last minute. Paul and I were originally going to cover a Christmas horror movie, and we were talking about, you know, do you want to do Black Christmas, do you want to do Gremlins? And then Stan Lee passed and he said we have to do something from the Marvel universe. So here we are. Well, I mean, he's in the podcast link below. I am here doing this extra stuff because I like to link all of my collaborations together in beautiful harmony. Alright, so I realize this might be a little bit of a light green, but when it comes to paint, it's always better to start lighter and layer than to start too dark and be SOL. Normally I would paint my ears, but since I'm going to put a wig on top of this, and my ears are not going to show at any point in time for this very small film clip, I am not going to paint my ears. If I was going to a con, I would totally paint my ears. Because you don't know. If it slips up, even if you're doing a photo shoot, hate it when people are like, oh, you can just do that in post, you can just do that in Photoshop. In real life is the way to go. Photoshop is not. Very often photoshopped work will look fake, and you don't want to be putting the extra work on your photographer or editor anyway, so just do it yourself. You know, I am my own editor, so if I don't want to paint my ears, that's my business. Because I'm the one who's going to have to deal with editing my footage. My ears are showing. Okay, so I probably should have said at the start of the video that I want to talk some Infinity War stuff that's going to have spoilers in it. So if you've gotten this far and you don't want to hear spoilers, but you want to watch the face paint, I don't know, turn off the volume, because I want to talk about some theories. As we move on with makeup, I'm going to be doing a contour on my face with this green shadow. It's by Kat Von D. It's called Iggy. I realize that some people don't support Kat Von D. You're valid to have whatever opinions you want. I was gifted this by a friend and I let no makeup go to waste. So this is what I'm going to use for my contour today because I feel like this is the green that would match well. There's many other companies that make a nice emerald green color. Do whatever you do, boo. Alright, so as we dig into that powder, let's dig into some fan theories. So for the Marvel films, there was the last movie where, again, this is spoilers, this is your last chance to turn off the volume. We watched Thanos kill Gamora and to obtain the Soul Stone. So when I saw that, not only was I heartbroken, you know, and then we watched Quill just, you know, lose his mind over the love of his life, but in turn, you know, damn the entire universe because they could have gotten that gauntlet. And I know that is a big talking point too, you know. Why didn't Doctor Strange just open a portal and cut off his arm? Or, you know, there's lots of theories behind that. But I want to talk about what happens now. So I think we all can agree that, like, we think that everyone's gonna come back that was destroyed by Thanos' snap. I think that's something we can all agree on, that that's probably gonna happen. The thing that people aren't agreeing on is if the people killed outside of the snap would come back, including Gamora, because she was murdered for this purpose of the Soul Stone. Okay, I did my cheeks, and now I'm going to go and shade into the sides of my nose because her nose is thinner than mine, and I have a really big nose. So I'm gonna shade there. So in the comic books, she goes into the Soul Stone, is in this like world that's inside of the Soul Stone, and somebody from her team comes in and pulls her out, and she takes over another person's body, like her body from that world was gone, and she takes over another person's body, but it's basically her old body. It's complicated. So, I mean, there's that. We also see Vision has a stone and, like, is his stone. So, could Gamora be the Soul Stone? Like, could they extract Gamora from the Soul Stone and she lives as the Soul Stone like Vision lived as his stone? That's something that was mused about. One of the characters that's in the comic books and gets entangled with both Thanos and Deadpool, I believe, is Death. And I think it would be really cool if we saw Gamora come back as Death. Like, they try to pull her from the stone, the Soul Stone, and she is instead the character Death, which in the comics, Thanos is entangled in Death in a romantic sense. But I think, you know, being that Marvel Films has already changed quite a bit from the comics, from characters down into costuming, timelines, and all that kind of stuff, which isn't bad. Not saying anything bad, just they do, that's fine. I think that we could change that to work in our favor, and it could be really cool. Okay, I'm gonna go and shade in here too. So I think, and that being said, could we like revive Vision as his stone? I don't know. So I absolutely encourage you to leave comments on what you think in the comments area. Just be kind. Like, I enjoy comic books. Let's have a little side discussion. I really enjoy comic books, but I really hate the judgment that comes with, like, oh man, don't you know it's supposed to be exactly this way? Like, no, dude, I can't read and keep up with every single comment and like comic and character and remember it all. Like we all have our, you know, our favorite comic books and our favorite characters and our favorite, like, I started with Lord of the Rings, man, and that's my jam. Like, I know so much about Lord of the Rings that probably normal people shouldn't even be able to keep that much information about Lord of the Rings in their daily lives. But here I am, and that's okay. You know, we each have our fandom, so if this is your jam, and you want to talk about what you think is going to happen with Gamora in the future movies, I love to hear your opinion. Just don't be sassy. Don't be like, excuse me, stupid. I see that happen a lot. It's just uncalled for. We're all here to have fun. Fandoms are fun. Makeup is fun. The fact that I can combine the two now, oh, yes. When I first learned about cosplay, it was one of the most wonderful things ever. And then I got stuck working at this job I hated for so long that I wasn't really getting to go out and cosplay. Plus, I was super broke, so I didn't have the money to cosplay. And now I'm finally getting to, like, go out and be at cons and cosplay and do all the things that I always dreamed of doing. Like, am I the perfect nerd? No. But I enjoy what I do. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's switch to a highlight. I'm going to use some subtle highlighting. I'm using the Butt Naked palette by NYX, and it's got some highlight shades in the bottom here that I'm going to use on top of this. And I'm actually going to use the same brush with the green in it because I'm okay with it having a little bit of green in it. So I'm going to highlight where I would normally highlight. Here, a little bit right here. The biggest thing with doing flat paints, like monochromatic paints, is not just using one color, but giving lots and lots and lots of dimension. And I think people often just paint one solid color and that's it, and that just does not fly, my friends. You need to put lots of color, other shades of color in it to give it dimension. Okay, now that speech is over. Alright, we're getting to the tough stuff. Around her eyes, I've seen a couple different pictures. Some have more orange, some have more purple, but these colors around her eyes, I thought that this Huda Beauty palette would be perfect for that. I feel like it's it's the right kind of shades, the right kind of purples and oranges and things of that. I'm going to start with amber, which is right here, and then I'll probably work down into like saffron over here. So start with amber. To review for tonight's podcast, I watched the first Guardians, which I haven't seen in too long. The second Guardians, which I've watched a lot because it's on Netflix. And I forgot, God, it's crazy to me watching Gamora's character change. Like, I feel like we see that really rough assassin's edge in the first movie. Like, she's so just down to business. Like, she knows what she wants and is very blunt. And we see a little more of that like alien versus human humor. She doesn't always understand what Quill's saying, whereas I feel like, oh great, we're gonna get a bunch of background noise from next door, sorry. I feel like in the second movie you can tell how much they've bonded because she understands Quill so much better, and the whole team has, you know, a better understanding of each other, and communications are going more smoothly, which is great for them as a team, but cuts through some of the humor for us as the viewers, though Drax is still kind of clueless and brings plenty of humor on his own. So I'm still going in with the amber. I'm still working on amber right now. I'm going to go in with a darker color, so that's saffron. I'm going to go in right in the crease. I'm drawing it into the crease, and then I'm going to blend in from there. And underneath as well. Alright, and then the last color I'm going to use is this amethyst that's right here. And I'm going to use the same big fluff brush, and I'm just going to lay a little bit on my lids. And blend. I want everything to be really blended. Some of the images of her online look like she's wearing like eye makeup, but I feel like in the films it's more of like her natural coloring around her eyes. And even if she was wearing makeup, I feel like being a badass assassin, you're not gonna have the most, you know, pristine, perfect, lined, winged makeup. I feel like it is gonna be, you know, blended and shaded and stuff. Alright, so we're going to teach you a little trick that I recently learned. It's with Graftobian products. They have these awesome powders called luster powders. Ooh, all powdery, dirty. So focus. There we go. Oh no! Oh no, I dumped out like half of the thing. Oh, it's everywhere. This is what I get. This is what I get. Oh, that sucks. One moment, please. Oh, that sucks. That sucks for both my couch and my product. Don't tip the paddle too far at home, kids. You're gonna have the same problem. So I'm gonna get a detail brush wet. And then I'm going to pick up the product with it. So that I have a bunch of this silvery, right? And then I'm going to continue to wet it. And it turns into this beautiful liquid. See that? That's what I'm going to use for the silver detailing. I realize if we were doing this as a full FX look, we'd probably have some, you know, prosthetics. So that was indented and matched her face, but we're just doing a face paint today. So this is where we're going. This is where we're at. So I got a picture pulled up on my computer right now, and I see a large arch where like her eyebrow would be. So I'm just gonna follow my eyebrow line. On camera focus. The camera's not focusing. Thank you. Because I was trying to do it in camera and not with a mirror. I fudged it up. We can fix it. The entire luster kit from Graftobian right now. It may be one of my favorite things in the kit. Okay, got that far, right? Okay, now she's got two different symbols over two. This side. Now I'm gonna have to pause for a battery break because my phone just told me it's dying. Okay, while the camera was off, I did finish the silver work because I was having a really hard time anyway with it. Like trying to look at the picture from, I know it's only like 2 feet away, but trying to put some liner in my waterline as well. So, and then I did some on my lid, which I'm gonna smudge out right now. Okay, so for lips, I think I'm going to still do the Graftobian powder. I'm gonna give it a go. I've got chapstick on, and I'm gonna use this green, and I'm not gonna tip it like my silver and lose a bunch of really expensive product again, because that was mortifying. So this is a dark green. It's a little shimmery. I'm hoping maybe it liquefies, not quite as shimmery. Never tried it, so you're gonna learn with me. It's shimmery, but it's not overwhelming. All right. Alright, I'm going to add mascara and a wig, and then I'm pretty much finished. I'm actually happy with how this turned out, and a little bit surprised with how happy I am about it.